Hey guys, what's up? It's Ryan. I'm coming to you from our beautiful living room in Vancouver, Canada. And I'm going to talk to you today about self-care and about self-love and about the importance of learning how to slow down. You know, chances are if you're anything like me, you're a spiritual entrepreneur and you have this goal or this vision that you're stepping into with your life or your business, and you probably feel guilty when you stop. And you probably feel guilty if you're not doing things that make money. So my story started a long time ago. When I was growing up, I was very blessed with my parents because they always instilled in me at a young age I can achieve anything I want. And they were very driven people. My dad is a structural engineer. My mom was always and still is a stay-at-home mom. And they've had tremendous success in their life, and they've had setbacks, as every one of us has. And they've always been very goal-orientated people. So we grew around in that. I have two older sisters that, taught me so much and continue to teach me so much. And, I always saw my parents growing up as always, very driven, successful people. And so I created a story at a really, really young age that I felt that the only way that I could receive love is if I went out and I became successful. So at a young age, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, always wanted to own my own business, always wanted to have my own time freedom. I don't know if you can relate. And so I was always driven to achieve that. Started, doing contract work in construction when I was 20 and network marketing when I was about 26. And I've always been driven to work for myself. And so, I planted this seed, which was nothing that my parents taught me. It was a story that I created that in order for me to feel worthy and feel loved, then I would have to go out there and either become successful or else be hustling in the process to be successful. So it didn't necessarily mean that, I had to be successful. At least I had to be in the process of it. And if I wasn't doing those things, then I felt less than, right? So what I would do is I went out and I'd hustle, and I work hard, I get some great results, fail, get some great results, fail. And then I started having success with Chris in the network marketing industry. And what I found is as fast as the money was coming in, I was extremely stressed out and busy. And I was people pleasing and letting people cross my boundaries and doing all these things, and to this point that I had realized that I was very, very uncomfortable with stopping. I was very uncomfortable with being by myself. I was very uncomfortable in not knowing who I was if I wasn't hustling, if I wasn't successful, right? And I had this huge epiphany that absolutely just hit me. Chris and I, we found ourselves like I was always interviewing people. I was putting on telesummits. We had moved down to San Diego at one point to live that lifestyle. I was always on the phone, or we were flying out to events every 2 to 3 months. I was really fucking busy, and I didn't have a lot of time for myself. So I was constantly in fight or flight. And I sort of hit this wall. I had my coach calls it the early 30s is the come to Jesus years. So I had this epiphany in my early 30s of what was actually happening with me. And this is where I feel it will really support you. And what's so cool is this is what I get to help my clients with, is going into the things that are actually stopping them from getting into a flow, of getting into money flow, getting into abundance flow, and getting their business into a state of flow where it's not constantly in an ebb and struggling. And my epiphany was this. When I stopped, I felt guilty. And I felt guilty because I didn't feel worthy if I wasn't doing something to hustle that would equate to success. And because I felt guilty, I felt I wasn't good enough. And that was the belief. I am not good enough. And once I felt not good enough, it usually kicked in some kind of frustration, even sometimes anger. And from the frustration or anger, it would drive me to take action out of fear. So for the most part of me building businesses and going out and helping people came from a space of lack. It wasn't coming from a space of abundance. It was coming from a space of fear that I'm not good enough, so I better go out and take some crazy action so I feel what? Good enough. And so if you go back to understanding emotions, guilt and shame are underlying emotions, and then anger or frustration is a cover-up emotion to those. So it's a secondary emotion. So my initial emotion was the guilt, and I had to go into that and integrate that. And when I started to become aware of this, I go, oh my gosh, like I am creating my life. I'm creating my business being motivated from a space of fear, which makes so much sense. Why when I would take action on stuff, it didn't always feel authentic to me. And so I started taking a look at what was actually holding me back and started to go deeper into myself, which is a ton of the work that I do with my clients, is going a lot more deeper into looking at you. And I think that, we see this a lot on social media. A lot of successful people have a very negative feeling about being poor or being broke. And in most cases, well, in some cases I'll say, it's driven from that belief that I'm not good enough. So, we create our success out of that, we call it the shadow, out of the belief that I'm not good enough, so I don't want to become that person, so I better go out there and create a tremendous amount of success, be an overachiever, so I feel worthy. Right? So it's in the slowing down that's very uncomfortable for someone like me, because I felt less than. I felt not good enough. I didn't feel worthy. So I had to learn this new language, and I'll tell you, and I'm going to give you an exercise on what to do and a mantra. But as soon as I learned to slow down and got comfortable with it, like really comfortable, meditating or reading or just sitting, staring at a wall, doing nothing, or being in nature, going for a walk. As soon as I got okay and comfortable slowing down, my coaching business took off. My coaching business skyrocketed. And it all came because I got more comfortable with myself. I found who I am outside of the illusion of the identity that I am someone successful or I need to be in the process of becoming successful. And I'm so much more grounded into who I am as a person that I have such a strong base and connection to myself. And that all came from the last year and a half of thank God for my coach Anne. Anne, if you're watching this, I love you, for supporting me and helping me slow down. And now I can stop. Now I can just chill and be guilt-free. And what's interesting is my business has grown bigger since doing this. I'm able to help more people. So you have to take this time to fuel up your love tank, right? So you can give it back to others. It's like a pitcher of water. If you've got no water in the pitcher, you can't give water to other people. But if you fill up your pitcher with love tank, you've got lots of water to help other people with now. But we can't do that if we're in fight or flight and survival mode. So my message to you is very, very simple today. It's just start your process today of getting comfortable with slowing down, because all self-care is self-love. So the person you're actually avoiding and slowing down is who? Yourself. Your mantra. I want to give you a mantra to support you. Then I'm going to give you a very simple exercise. Your mantra to get into more of a space of flow is I trust my process. I trust my process. I trust my process. And your exercise, your homework for this week is to do some mirror work. So this is what I do that I feel will support you. So stand in front of the mirror in your bathroom and set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes. And all you're going to do is talk to yourself for 10 minutes. Has to be a minimum of 10 minutes, can be more, but no shorter than 10 minutes. And then see what comes up. Don't go in with an intention. Don't try to do affirmations. Don't try to, have an intention when you go in. Just go in and look at yourself and talk to yourself with what you see. 10 minutes. Keep me posted. Drop me a comment down below after you've done it. And if you have any questions, just let me know. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would love to hear where I can support you better as a coach. where you need help or any wins that you want to share with me, any breakthroughs. And please, as always, if you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends, share it with your team, share it on social media, and we'll talk to you guys next week inside the video. And remember to subscribe to my email. You get my free 7-day spiritual money flow mini course. You get 7 training videos, 7 money mantras, and 7 exercises to start to break through some of your limiting beliefs and start to get into a space of raising your money set point and increasing your money from a space of flow. Love you guys. Have a great day.